Hello.
Good evening. Welcome in, everybody. Good to see you. Good to see you.
Hello.
Sorry we're so late tonight, but I ended up working 12 hours and because a person called in, so.
Oh dear.
Hope you got paid double time.
I hope so.
No, I get comp time. That's about all I get.
Oh, okay.
Boy.
But that means I get to take days off
That's
Yeah.
good.
and get paid for it. So
That's good.
that's okay.
You better save up
I
a
have
lot
my
of those
favorite
for
dinner.
all these cruises that we're going to start
That's
planning.
okay.
pretty soon,
I have my
Dave.
favorite dinner,
Oh,
2
God.
large fries, a
Get outta
hamburger, and on top, Shamrock Shake, baby. Shamrock Shake.
I had to have a little bit of Disney.
Hello,
in my
Dean
life
the Turkey Legs.
today.
So good to see you. Welcome
Hey,
in.
dude. Welcome in, buddy.
Good to see you. Welcome in.
But yeah, no. Oh,
Nice.
Yes, it is the new version of Goofy, but
Which
still
resort
funny.
is that from, Richard?
Walt Disney World, probably. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
yeah. I'm. My problem is I don't like the way they drew the new Goofy. They made him like they actually made him look
He's not
stupid.
bad.
Look at that.
He's not bad.
They made him look stupid.
They did not.
He looked stupid.
Not. I think.
Well,
it
I'm
looks
You
sorry.
look at his eyes, and all you see is like complete space.
I'm sorry, but yes, he kind of looks stupid, but I think they went more towards redneck. I'm sorry to admit it, but they tried to make a redneck character out of Goofy.
Well, I'm going to say, if that's what they were going for, they failed very miserably.
Let's put it this
It's
way.
a hint of
I think I
redneck,
know what they
but
were
more
trying to
like
go for. They were
Louisiana.
trying to do the original drawings of him, I think.
Well, my problem is that they made him, if that, and I agree with Richard to the point that maybe they tried to make him look like a redneck, but the problem is they made him look more stupid than a redneck.
I don't think
rednecks, I'm going to tell you what. I mean, technically, if you see what the true definition of a redneck is,
I understand.
most people use it differently compared to what a true definition is.
Yeah. I mean, I think
So basically, they made Goofy into Florida Man.
Bingo.
I don't know what he is. He ain't
That's
Florida.
the
I
whole
can tell you
definition
that.
of Florida Man. He does anything and everything,
Nope.
and he does everything good, but it
Nope.
always fails. Always fails.
Well, we know he always fails.
Well, at least
That's
he tried.
Goofy personified already.
Right. It's all good.
Anyways, welcome in, guys that are here. I'm sure some of the people we got in here are probably doing double duty right now.
Yeah.
Are watching the stream and yet
Well,
probably over in Pete's moderating. I can guarantee that's what's going on.
welcome
Maybe.
in, Dean. He's
But-
the only one that's chatted so far.
Yep.
Yeah, he's the only one that's
Let's
chatted,
look
so
Yeah.
we might be able to stay safe with the stream tonight.
Hello, Ninja Watchers. Welcome in. Hello, Jason Thibodeau.
Oh, Jason Thibodeau, welcome in. Hey, Ninja Watchers are just as important too. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Better watch it. If we get crazy, I'll start bringing out the glasses again.
And I'll tell you what, I'll bring out my nunchucks.
I have my fantastic camo glasses on today.
Nice.
Those are pretty sharp there. I'm not gonna lie.
Nice. I've seen you wear them before.
Anyways.
Oh gosh.
Oh, Lord.
Dean, when have I ever behaved?
Listen,
That's
if
not
there
the
is a
worst
category,
scenario.
here's the category. Behave,
Nope.
needs intervention, and a silly guy. That's the 3 categories.
Oh God.
God,
Okay.
no, I don't think so. Mhm.
Let's go with this.
Anyways, but seriously, how you guys doing? I mean, I hope you guys had a good day today. I mean,
Yeah.
I know I had a long day because I was out pressure washing all day at the school, and it's
Oh boy.
I am sore. I am tired, and still wanted to get this stream done.
Right, I know.
So,
That's fine.
Obviously, because the big thing about it is, and you guys were kind of talking about, so I don't know what you guys were talking about travel-wise and all that when I popped in, but
we were talking about,
a little bit
rest
before.
stops and stuff and day trips.
We were
like that.
brainstorming.
Yeah.
well, here's the brainstorming on this. The topic for tonight, guys, is driving versus flying, especially knowing that here's a big question for you.
Sure.
At this point in time, for you guys that are in the chat, and if you want to answer it, just simply put a Y or an N. And my big question is, right now, with all the crashes going on, would you still take the risk of flying?
Absolutely not.
Or at this point, would you drive? If you're going to drive, put a D. If you're going to fly, put an F. F for fly, D for drive.
What about T for train?
No go.
No go.
Because what I'm talking about here now is traveling. I'm thinking more traveling to.
That's easy for me. Drive, definitely driving.
Well, here's my thing, because now here's the kicker on this. Okay, yes, there's been all these issues, but now here's the problem.
Go.
Now, what happens when you start getting all this construction that's getting ready to start in on the turnpike? And all of a sudden, you're going to get backed up lanes, and they shallow it even more until they get all that construction done on both sides.
I can tell you this right now. The New Jersey Turnpike, every single time I'm on it.
Mike, every state's turnpike is different. We cannot compare turnpike to turnpike.
What I'm saying is, Dave, there is always construction on there. No matter what time of year, it's always on there.
So is it in Florida, but this one is massive. This actually is pretty massive for Florida. This is actually pretty massive for Florida. I've seen them do construction, but this is one of the biggest construction things I've ever seen them do in the state of Florida.
You know what one of the good things is, though, Dave, about driving, especially if you know your area very, very well. 2 words. Back roads. It can save you a lot of time, and it can save you a whole lot of headaches.
And that would work for your local indigenous, Mike.
Yes.
But you people that, let's say you decided, I know you wouldn't drive down this far, but let's say you decided to drive down from New York to Orlando. You wouldn't know the back roads. You would know the back roads in the state of New York.
Yeah.
But once you get into the other states, you would not know the back roads. So honestly, I would say I agree with you on one hand. If you definitely know the back roads and you're indigenous to that area, then you definitely use the back roads. Because I can use 441, I can use 27, and I would be safe either way using those. And those are back roads. And even I will say, even 441 is getting extremely 441, which runs. I'll tell you what, 441 runs for miles from Florida. It zigzags through the southern states. Yeah. It's really weird.
Yeah, but Dave, can I also mention this? In New Jersey, which is where I'm at, I can take the New Jersey Turnpike all the way down to with the exit 4, get off, jump onto 295, take it all the way down to the Delaware Memorial Bridge, jump on 95, and keep going until.
Now here's my problem with 95.
And go for it.
I-95.
Yep.
You want to know I-95 is getting just as bad as I-75.
Yeah, I-95 is notoriously one of the busiest highways in the nation.
95, 75. Because here's the thing about it. 95 and 75 are the 2 main interstates along the East Coast that go from the bottom of the states to the top of the state. I don't know how far. I don't know exactly where 95 ends. I mean, I can tell you this.
Ends in Maine. 95 ends in Maine.
Okay, so it's like I-75. I-75 ends at the top of the state of Michigan, and it dead ends right at the bottom of Miami.
Yep, because
They're
95.
both the same about.
But
Yeah.
here's another thing, Dave. Route 1.
Yeah.
Route 1. It goes through every state on the eastern border, and that is the only. But now, mind you, Route 1 is, I can honestly say it, it's fun to drive, but it takes longer to do it. Now, for me, I mean, also too, Dave, if I wanted
another one for Mike.
Yeah.
Another thing to think about, I know on I-95, if I
Okay,
remember
I'll take
looking at this
every-
correctly, for
everyone
some
like that.
people,
Mhm.
it's 75 miles an hour all the way down, basically.
It's 65.
65, 75.
It's 65 all the way down.
And I know the other one
Not
slows
so
down
sure.
for the
Not
cities.
actually, Mike. You are correct. You are wrong on that.
No, I'm not, Dave. It's
It
65.
is. It's picked up to 70. It's picked up to 70 miles an hour in the state of Georgia.
I've been on it more times than anybody.
On 95? How far have you come down on 95?
95? I start in Delaware. From the Delaware Memorial Bridge all the way down. Now, mind you,
When was the last time you were down 95?
Your speed traps. That's another thing, Dave. You got to be careful of your speed traps.
That's everywhere. That's everywhere.
All
Speed
highways
traps
have
are
that.
everywhere. Even on
They're
75, there's
requiring
got
them
to be
now.
speed traps.
They hide. They
No.
hide. And that's why I use Waze so much. Now, mind you, speaking of that, Waze is an excellent driving app because it will tell you everything.
I'm going to tell you this. I don't trust any app.
Real time.
I don't trust any app when it comes to driving.
I
I
don't use Waze for
See, this is
destinations.
exactly why I use it.
I use Waze because it tells me where the cops are.
Bingo. It tells you where the cops are, and it also tells you where the construction is.
I've seen a video though,
traffic.
Mike. I've seen a video. The funny thing is, not in Jersey, but in New York, for Waze, it's hard to use Waze because guess what? The police cops use Waze.
Correct.
So you know what they do? Oh, it says there's a cop there. Oh, he knows that's the cop that someone's seen him, and he can push it and say that he's not there.
Bingo, exactly. And I can help other drivers navigate the exact same roads that I'm on.
Well, here's the thing. If everybody would learn to obey the speed law, you wouldn't have to worry about that stuff.
You see people driving.
There's always going to be.
Now, Dave,
I'm just saying. I'm not saying. Listen, I'm not trying to say it's not going to happen. I'm not trying to say it's going to happen. I'm just saying if you wouldn't have to worry about that crap.
People like going faster than what it's supposed to.
I mean, seriously, have you seen people driving snow in the Northeast? They drive.
Have you seen them drive in the state of Michigan?
I've seen it do this. Believe me.
Mike, you're talking to somebody that almost lost his life in a car.
You'll see people driving around 70.
Listen,
they go faster when it snows.
Yes.
There's only one simple thing to combat all this. There's one simple thing to combat all this. Use your common sense.
Try telling that to other drivers.
Planes.
I agree, Mike. If drivers would use their common sense.
Can I say something about flying too? People act like idiots.
Can you accommodate for every single person that does not use their common sense while driving? Because there's thousands going all the way down from New York all the way down.
Oh, it's everywhere. It's everywhere. It's down here. It's in Michigan. It's listen. There's a lot of people that when it comes to driving, they don't use. It's not that anybody is. I'm not saying people are stupid. The problem is when you get behind the wheel, they stop for some reason. They stop using their common sense and they become risk takers. And
I would seriously take the Greyhound bus to Florida. I would.
Well, that's another option too. A bus.
You can get Greyhound anywhere in the United States. Anywhere.
And we'll look now. See another thing when we will actually talk about bus versus train, because honestly, I will tell you this: my only problem is with the bus.
Sure.
You're extremely crowded. I mean, it's. I don't mind flying because normally the time flight is shorter, but when you're on a bus, depending on where you're going to, now you're in a crowded bus on a bus for several hours. Like if you're going from, say, a northeastern state down to Florida, you're talking several hours on a bus that's very crowded.
Yes.
And that's where.
And not only that, Dave, you also got safety issues too in a lot of states and a lot of areas too.
Yeah.
Believe me, you do. In New York
City,
there
is some Greyhounds that are not really, you don't feel cramped in them, really. They're like almost like a luxury bus line.
Well, Port Authority Bus Terminal does have its good things and bad things about it. Yeah. To a point.
Well, and maybe the newer buses do, but I'm thinking because I haven't done a bus in years. The old buses, you were cramped.
Yeah, old buses you were cramped, but
the old buses you were cramped. Now the newer ones, I don't know nothing about the newer ones, so I couldn't say.
The newer ones are more like long distance, so they would have like they would even go as far as to say some of them have heated seats, lumbar support, things like that.
Yes,
I would still
the buses.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, and anyways, hello, Jill. Welcome Jill. In. I know Jill said
hello.
No problem, guys. I know a lot of you guys will be in and out. I didn't expect a lot of people in here tonight, especially since I had to get started late because I worked a 12-hour day. So but again, going back to
flying, I've only I don't know if you've seen that. I posted at it in the comments. I only use one service. I only use one company that has not had any accidents since they were made in 1982, 83.
Which one?
Southwest.
I figured that would be the one.
Southwest.
Yeah.
I have a Southwest card. It makes it so I pay basically half the price for what it shows anywhere else because I have a Southwest card.
And the thing of it is, if it works for you, that's good.
Exactly. It helps because I'm not really I don't have the concept of the driving in my head because guess what? I don't live anywhere near enough for that to be true.
Right.
Now
it takes me about 6 hours to fly is all.
Well, now here's my difference between flying and driving. I've done both over the years. I've done both.
I got used to flying, so yeah.
And I've done, like I said, I've done. Here's the thing. It just depends on how quickly I want to get to my destination.
Yeah.
And how much time I want to save on traveling. Because there's times where, if you really want to take in the view and the things in that, then there's a much different when you're coming to driving, regardless of what's going on the roads, construction, everything else. You still, if you really want to take in the views, and honestly, there are a lot of highways throughout the southern states that they have a beautiful view of the Blue Ridge Mountains, the Smoky Mountains, and going through Cherokee, North Carolina, things like that. You go through the views there, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. And if you were flying, you would miss those views.
All of those highways from the beginning to the end of that state on I-95, you're going from regular tarmac to blacktop all the way through South Carolina, and then it goes into the next state and it goes off of the blacktop. It's the state that has the blacktop. It's super smooth, no bumps, nothing.
Well, that's kind of like Tennessee. because it's like cement when you first get to, but once you get beyond Charlotte or once you get beyond,
they spend money on their roads. Some states have not as much.
Yeah, and believe me, New Jersey is very famous for its potholes. Let's just put it that way.
The potholes so big.
Hey, Mike, Jersey probably fixed their potholes. Michigan's potholes, they're so big it'll swallow up a car.
Put it this way,
because they don't they don't fix their potholes. Trust me.
Dave, seriously, you need to drive on the New Jersey Turnpike. Have fun.
Go to Michigan's highway. You're like you're looking like a bobblehead.
Sure that New Jersey itself likes to handpick which roads they keep up. Cherry picker.
To a point.
Cherry picker. You're like, hey, that road right there.
Well, at least they choose. At least they pick and choose. At least they pick and choose. Yes. Michigan don't do nothing about them.
They only choose one road for like 20 years that they keep maintained. All the other roads, they have potholes all over. They don't even try to fix them.
Where?
New Jersey.
It sounds like Michigan and New Jersey taught each other well.
Yes.
Because that's the way Michigan is too. They fix certain roads, but the rest of them, the potholes are so big, it's going to swallow the car up.
Well, you should see some of them. Wow.
Oh, I've seen some of the Jersey roads that have a pothole big enough that it basically disaligns your car.
Yep.
I've seen it.
Pretty much.
I've had friends that. That's what I'm saying. It sounds like Michigan and New Jersey must have got together because I've actually had friends I've actually had friends driving in Michigan that have ruined their transmissions because they've hit potholes. So big. So it sounds like Michigan and New Jersey were hanging out together when it came to deciding our road.
Hanging out together. They're friends.
Because I'll tell you this, Dave. One of my favorite things to do when I drive, when I'm in the car, and stuff. I'll say this: the best thing is when you are going around DC and you are seeing these beautiful national landmarks of ours. I'm not kidding. It's great. I mean, especially on I-95. Okay, you can easily get. I'll say this. Delaware is not that grand.
Yeah.
Maryland is okay, but once you hit D.C. and you see all these beautiful landmarks of ours, fantastic. And also on 95, if you go further south in D.C., you could go to Colonial Williamsburg. You can see the Shenandoah Valley.
And if I remember correctly,
a lot of great stuff on 95.
For us, when we went through, I know this for sure now because I remember having to do this.
Yep.
It was saying for us going through the quicker route, it was saying we had to basically bypass Washington, D.C. altogether.
Correct.
We drove right around the edge of it.
Yep.
And we're right back towards the ocean.
That's right. That's the way it works. So you must have been on the outer loop.
Outer loop. Yeah.
Because the inner loop is basically getting you into DC.
Outer loop, you're just passing through.
Yep. And also too, Dave, on I-95, you get to go right past Camden Yards. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Well,
yep. Yeah.
Now, see, as farthest I've gone up, I've taken 95 up north. The farthest I've gone, though, to the south end.
95 two different ways.
I've actually taken 95 up towards Washington, D.C., passed by D.C. on 95, and then I went west to get back to Michigan. But I think that was the only time I think I hit the corner of Pennsylvania.
Well, let me tell you this, Dave. 95 going up north from D.C. There are two ways to do it. You go one way, you end up in Philadelphia. You go the other way, you end up in New Jersey. So it basically splits. And then, but believe it or not, if you take 95.
Yes, we are, Paul.
If you take 95.
Yes, we are, Paul.
From Philadelphia. you can still end up in New Jersey without using a toll, because I've done it.
Mike, we are making Paul Engel's ears burn.
I see that. And let me tell you, the Fort McHenry Tunnel sometimes can be a pain in the butt. Because, and I can still remember this years ago. I went to D.C. on a vacation. The line to go from the Fort McHenry Tunnel all the way back to the toll booth. Now, mind you, this was before the Easy Pass system.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Hold on a second.
Yeah, y'all ought to see.
Oh my God!
It pretty much sounds like the bridge and the tunnel going over to Canada, Windsor from Detroit. It's hideous to get through. It is hideous to get through. Besides,
it is a breeze.
Hey, at least you don't have to deal with one thing. At least you don't have to deal with the border stuff going to Canada. That makes it even worse.
Well, I can only imagine what that's like.
Try to get someone that only speaks French, and you're coming from Detroit to go to Windsor to go to the Canada, and they barely speak any English. Like it was funny. My mom. We had got someone that only kind of speaks a little English. He was saying, "Open the butt, open the butt." I think he was trying to say, "Open your trunk," but it's like, what the hell are you saying?
But here's the thing with this too. Okay, mind you, the last time I went through the Fort McHenry Tunnel, no problem, no issue, because we have the Easy Pass. Now, mind you, when they didn't have the Easy Pass, I literally have crawled through the Fort McHenry Tunnel, the entire length of it. And
listen, I will tell you this:
crazy.
And this is a driving tip too.
Fine. Hi, Paul.
You gotta know what time you're driving.
Hey, Paul, welcome in. Here is a tip for anybody that's traveling. If you're going through a state that has,
hi, Pete, welcome in.
Mr. Pete.
If you're going through a state that has an Easy Pass, a Sun Pass, and some of these other ones,
use it
because I'll tell you what, like Mike, I agree with you on that, because even going to Orlando,
yes,
I go through at least 4 tolls, and listen, the money's already there. I just go flying right on through, and I don't have to worry about paying by toll.
Let me tell you, oh my Lord, you don't even want
to. Hey, Pete, welcome in, buddy.
Yep, welcome in. You know what, Jill? Speaking of Los Angeles,
Los Angeles is pretty bad.
I have respect for anybody who lives in Los Angeles, California, and has to deal with that traffic day in, day out. I I don't know how you people do it.
It doesn't.
That one I believe on Joe. I actually believe that one on Joe. To me, LA has the worst traffic problem of all cities.
Amen.
Nope. Seattle's is worse.
Oh, I don't know about that. I'd have to come visit Seattle to see that one. I'd have to come visit.
You know what? Come visit
Seattle. I'll have to come visit Seattle, Richard.
I will put you into the traffic at traffic hour.
It's been good lately.
You get to sit there for 5 hours sitting in one spot.
Would you
not
now, wait a minute.
moving?
Richard, you have been with me on a New York City bus, and we were crawling up 8th Avenue.
That was quick.
That was not quick. That was not quick, believe me.
Yeah.
I have been
quick.
Stuck in the middle of an intersection. I mean, beeping.
I was happy and ecstatic that it did not stop, but at least he had a slow moving.
See what I mean?
But
remind you,
I'm used to Seattle traffic where, hey, you get to sit there for 5 hours.
Yes. Oh, yes. And I've been there, done that.
2 inches.
I've been there, done that. Mm-hmm. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, my. Oh, my, Jill. Oh, dear.
So, I got to experience. I got to experience that a little bit when I was in Seattle, because Here's my thing: driving versus flying.
Pretty weird too.
Driving versus flying. Guess what? Me and my sister both were Uber drivers in Seattle.
Gotta ask.
We had to live with the traffic.
See, just like New York.
We hate it. We hate it.
Just like New York.
In New York, I'm happy that I would say over 60% of the people decide not to use the roads. Yes. They don't have their own cars.
Bingo.
There you go.
Well, now, Richard, with the whole congestion, with the pricing thing, oh my goodness. The past 2 times that I've been into the city, going through the tunnel is not as bad as you think now.
It's faster to go with your bike.
Well, that too.
Hey.
Well, get this, Richard.
It's faster to go on the bike than go to over any of the dang.
Paul, don't ask.
Shit.
Well, here we go. We're being invaded.
Yeah.
I know what's going on. This is a Pete McDevitt invasion.
Hello, Debbie. Hello, Heath.
Coming in over from Deep
Hello, Heath. Welcome, Devin Turner. Hello, Chad Head. I love it. Well, thank you for the invasion, Pete. I love it. Yeah. I know that's what it is when they start coming in like that. That's a Pete invasion.
It is.
This is a British invasion from Pete.
Well, anyway.
That's okay. I love it. It's all good. It's all good. But, here's the thing. Here's the thing. My problem is, I mean, I have issues on both sides with both flying and driving.
Yeah.
All right.
But my problem is I have a lot of reasons to fly and drive. Me, I wish I could be put on a plane that could be launched out of an aircraft carrier that goes from 0 to over 100 miles an hour in less than 6 seconds. And I mean, talking G-force. That would be total for me. That off the rocker. Let's do some barrel rolls. I know Mike wants to do some barrel rolls. We gotta get him on a biplane and do some barrel rolls.
Dave, I got another option too. Not just train, but Brightline.
See?
Well, here's the problem. Brightline.
Train.
Yep.
But the problem is Brightline only goes so far. And I don't know what the full.
Where to hit it.
Bingo.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to tell you if you're in South Florida, because I don't know where exactly Brightlines go to and from.
Nice.
Dave, I know it is going to go. They're still in the works of making it, but it is going to go all the way down to Miami.
It is. That I do know. It's coming, and that's why I said I was about to say that if you're in South Florida,
yeah,
you'd be crazy not to use Brightline because it will take you half the time as it would driving. So yeah, I would agree with that.
Here's the thing with this, Dave. Seriously, okay. Another thing about driving is this: you aren't on a specific schedule.
Thank you. That's the big thing.
Me personally, okay, I like driving early in the morning. Why? Because you can beat the rush hour traffic. Because for me, when I drive to my vacation spot, usually over Labor Day weekend, we leave early. Why? Because we beat the Philadelphia rush hour traffic. We beat the Delaware rush hour traffic. We even beat the Baltimore rush hour.
Well, here's the thing. I think I set a record for me. Believe it or not, I actually set a record for me going through Georgia. I left at the 1 year I drove to Michigan. I swore I was going to get caught in the Atlantic traffic. I left at 4:15 in the morning. I was way northbound of Atlanta in less than around 4 hours.
But you know what, Dave?
And that whole state is about 5.5 hours.
But that's another thing, Dave, too. Know what the traffic is like in your area that you are driving to. Okay, for example, Philadelphia.
I agree.
I know that very well. I know.
Well, here's the thing. Make sure you know the traffic around. Make sure you know the traffic around any major city, not just where you're traveling to.
You almost.
I know Philadelphia's traffic like anything. I know it's
predicament trying to maneuver going down to Florida at the quickest time. Because I know it switches from the 205 over to the 95 to the 205 to the 95 back and forth.
I will tell you this.
You have to go across.
You guys want to hear something? Here's the crazy thing about Atlanta. Here's the crazy thing about Atlanta. You're going to hear me say the stupidest thing anybody will probably look at me and say, you know, they buy all these bypasses to go around the big cities anymore, right? Mm-hmm. Do you realize Atlanta is in reverse conjunction? You're better off going through downtown than you are going the bypass, because the bypasses are so bad now. It's ridiculous. The bypasses, it takes you 2 to 3 hours by the bypasses, where I can get through Atlanta downtown in about 30 minutes to 40. Give or take, depending on the time of day, when I'm going and how bad the traffic is.
We got lucky when we went, and that was one of the days we passed through Georgia-ish area at around 3:00 a.m. Straight through.
See,
well, guess what? I've gone through. Here's my thing. I've gone through Atlanta on a Friday midday, maybe about 30 minutes.
Okay.
And it wasn't. Now here's the thing: the traffic wasn't light, but it wasn't like the morning commute or the afternoon commute. It was.
I don't really like driving because I did that for a profession.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can understand that. I mean, especially driving around Seattle. Seattle is one of the worst states for driving.
I don't like to drive that much at all because my knee and foot were starting to hurt because of driving for so much.
Makes sense. Makes perfect sense. But I will say this though.
Yeah.
As long as you now, me personally, okay, I would rather have the navigation app. Why? Because
that's another one, Jill. Las Vegas, Nevada.
I'm not sure I want to even drive through Las Vegas.
Jill,
hey, there's one way in and one way out. It's one way in, is all.
That's what I hear. I've never been to Las Vegas, so I wouldn't know, but that's what I hear.
I'm curious. How bad is that traffic? I'm curious.
It's ridiculous from what I hear.
It's ridiculous. There's one way in and one way out. Like I said. They bottleneck it and they intentionally do it. It seems like,
seriously, how bad is it on a scale of 1 to 10? 10 being
8 to 9. Really, if you look at the statistics, there is a written paper that tells you the worst states or worst cities to drive through for traffic.
I bet you New York's one of them.
New York is towards the top.
That doesn't surprise me.
It doesn't surprise me either. I got to have a fantastic view, Mike, of the New York traffic.
Yes,
from my where I lived.
Yes, because
it was the funniest thing. I seen a row of red lights all the way down the highway.
I remember you telling me that the one night.
So beautiful, especially around Christmas time.
Yes.
Again, that brings back to the point that sometimes you have to think about whether you want to drive or whether you want to fly, and basically it comes down to what do you want to see versus what don't you want to see, and how quickly you want to get to your destination.
Driving, okay, there is one big perk about driving. You don't have a weight limit on your luggage, and you can bring back as much as you can fit in your car for souvenirs.
I think I need to talk to some states between here and New Jersey.
It's true.
Yeah.
Department. I need to talk to the DOTs in every state from here to Department of New Jersey.
Talk to Georgia.
A special role for Mike.
Georgia would love to talk to you. They could probably go on for hours.
Right. We'll make a special rule for Mike, so he won't get caught with all the spirit jerseys.
Oh God!
Believe me.
It'll be a Spirit jersey contraband.
Let's put it this way. That's my Spirit jersey, and you're about to find out, if you know what I mean.
Oh, it's kind of like a little TikTok I seen of a guy. He went into like a discount store for Disney, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And he's all like, "Yes, I want to buy some things, right?"
Yes.
Well, when he came out, he already ordered 2 U-Haul trucks.
Uh-huh.
That's how bad it turns out.
That's the point. That's the point.
So the U-Haul trucks are coming with you to the state.
And you know what, too? And you know what, too, Dave, with that is this, too, is that if you want to do a vacation on a budget, driving would be the better option because you can get hotels at a reasonable rate in reasonable areas for not that bad. I've done it.
Mike?
That's not always true, Mike.
That used to be true for the longest
It used to be the truth, but it's not true anymore.
It's not true anymore. You can fly from New York to Florida for about $150.
And I can tell you this.
A little bit less, maybe.
And I can tell you most hotels now along the interstate, you're going to pay over $100.
Not if you do research.
Oh,
not if you do
even if you do research, Mike, you're going to pay $100. I know. I've done it.
I tried to do research at one time.
I've done
it. And it's not reliable going through the highways because they showed me a Motel 6 that didn't even have a door for me to close for my room.
But Richard, that's when
a Roach Motel.
That's when you start looking at reviews and when you start looking at real reviews.
And then that is why it costs more than $100.
Listen,
that is why it
listen to somebody that traveled up and down 75 all his life. Yeah. I'm telling you, when I was younger, you could get hotels $35 to $40.
Oh yeah.
Every time, you know what the lowest I ever paid? And I'm talking decent hotels. I'm talking like Red Roof Inn, things like that, when they were still decent hotels, nothing less than $125.
The only way to get around that is to get into some kind of
perks.
For example,
now, here is one thing.
Hear me out. Now, you go through the certain business, like let's say Hyatt, and you get a Hyatt card.
Bingo, that's what you do.
That's
you for a lot cheaper.
That's what we're all saying. Perks.
Yes, perks.
It's the perks.
Yep.
That's about the only way you're going to say it, because if you're paying out of your own pocket and you don't have their, like their reward card or whatever they use, you're not going to get nothing lower than 130
each time, and that's 4 days, 5 days.
Now, I will say this, unless like you said, unless you go to a hotel that's less than desirable, then you might get it for $60. But then you're gonna. Here's the thing: like we went to a Days Inn one year. We had my mom, my dad, me, and what would have been my cousin's wife. We all went to a Days Inn one year.
Mm-hmm.
Our first room, roaches in the bathtub.
Yep.
Disgusting. And we paid probably close to $100 or a little over.
Yep.
And this was a Days Inn, and Days Inn used to be one of the top-notch brands. Not anymore. They haven't been in years.
Ones, Dave. That's when you really look at reviews.
We did look at the reviews, Mike.
I looked at reviews.
Mike, when you look at the reviews,
yes.
Nowadays, most of the companies of the companies know that if you have good reviews on the review section, they pay people. So if you have good reviews on your pay section, then they will. That is able for them to raise the price for how much you're going to have to stay there.
Now, here's the thing. Hey, Mike, let me further explain this. Days Inn. There's 2 reasons why I can categorically say what you're saying is there is some truth, but not a lot. Because the hotel, the Days Inn we went to, we stayed at for years, and it used to be good. We stayed at for years. Then, and even then, we looked at the reviews. But here's the thing: then we even looked at the reviews before we stayed there again, and we got there, didn't even match what the reviews said.
Oh,
it's close. So now you're talking my experience plus on top of what the reviews were saying didn't match what we were finding.
I'll tell you this, Dave. The best way that I do reviews is I look at the most recent.
That doesn't work anymore.
I always sort them by the most recent up.
Mike?
Exactly, Paul. Well, hey, Mike, and hey, Mike, I agree with you using reviews. All I'm just saying is be careful because I'm telling you.
Look at the area,
Mike.
Mike, the area around us.
Exactly what
People are getting paid to write good reviews for the businesses that are out there.
And here's the other thing.
That's their job. Is to
write that. And Mike, here's the thing. Where this Days Inn was is a real good area. It's around Knoxville. It was a good area in Knoxville, Tennessee. But when we stayed at this hotel, which we had stayed at for years, because we we always take 75 up and down, whether we're going to Florida or whether we were going to my dad's people in Virginia. This hotel always used to be good. And even when we looked at the reviews, when we stayed there this last time, that one time before my parents passed away, it didn't even match the reviews. Okay. And the reviews they gave it like a 4.
Okay.
And then you get into these, because that was just the first room. We get into the second room, we had power issues.
See, that's when you know a hotel's going downhill quick.
Yep.
That's when you know, because as soon as you start seeing stuff like that, then you know never to stay there.
And here's the thing. That's when you put your own review in to counteract the reviews that are there, because to Richard's account, there is some truth. To what you're saying, there is some truth. In my case, it was experience, and the reviews that I looked did not match what we experienced.
Yeah. You can't just rely on reviews anymore. I'm sorry.
The thing is, though, for me,
well, you can, but you have to be careful. You have to be careful of what you're looking at the reviews.
Yeah. But also, too, Dave, I look at a couple things. I look at the area first to make sure that it's near the major highway that I'm going to, or I'm going to be on.
Right.
B, what kind of restaurants are going to be around there to eat. 2, 3, I need to know what do the rooms physically look like? What do they offer? And then 4, the price.
But again, be careful. Be careful. Be careful again, because again, this was
beforehand. The people that know that has happened with them. You're going to look at the price increase of about 200% since you've been there. So probably roughly
also too, with
300 to 350 a night.
If you're going on a holiday weekend, the hotel prices are
the holidays are worse.
The holiday weekends are always going up.
No.
Oh, also,
but
if it's
anyway,
especially
you have to see if it's a town. If it's a town that has some kind of sports, and if that sports is running that night.
Well, and you just got to be careful, because here's the thing about this. Right. This exit that I'm talking about, and again, it also depends on how well you know that area.
Bingo.
But here's Mike. Again, we always stayed at this exit since I was a kid.
Yeah.
Always. There was only 3 or 4 hotels that we used, and Days Inn was the big one that we used.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying it's a mixture of everything that we're saying.
Right.
And again, when it comes to this,
on what you guys are saying,
I guess it just went from
because here's the thing.
Okay, sorry to emphasis, Dave, but it went from basically old school, what you're used to doing, to new school, what it is now.
All right. Well, here's the thing, because where the exit I stay at is only 40 minutes from Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg.
Oh.
It's right there near Knoxville, Tennessee. And that's why I know this is something I've done for years.
Yeah, they can't really keep up all those hotels. They're overslammed with hotels.
Well, it's like Paul said, Days Inn, that company as a whole has gone downhill. It's not all the hotels because there's a lot of good ones. And Mike's got a point too. I mean, you do have to know the area. Yeah, you do have to, you do got to, you do need to look at the reviews.
Yep.
And you do, you want to make sure but sometimes you just
they're going through and all that.
You just have to be careful though, because even with what we saw and knew, backdropped when we got there. It was totally, the pictures didn't match. I mean, the rooms, the pictures of the rooms that they had were more better than what the rooms actually looked like.
Forge, Tennessee. I think I might even. I have last time I went there, tried to stay at that Days Inn. It was bad.
It was at. It was right off of Knoxville. It was 475 or 265?
265 maybe.
It might have been because it's the one exit that goes because you have to follow 401 that is the one that goes across Tennessee from Knoxville to Memphis.
Okay.
So you have to follow. So 75 kind of follows 401 until you break off on the other side of Knoxville going towards Memphis or back south.
That's not officially, in my opinion, the East Coast route because you don't really hit Tennessee.
Well, no, that's not. It's the main route. It's the main route from 401 that goes through the state of Tennessee, but 75 is the main highway that runs north and south.
Let's put it this way, Dave. I mean, for me, being all right, okay, because when here's the interesting thing with this is that when I pick hotels, I am very, very picky. I mean, I am extremely picky. But here's the way that I do this. Budget first to see where I'm going to be at the time. I mean, driving can be an easier way to map it out because then you can stop like halfway with that for like the night. Sleep there and then wake up in the morning and then what to continue on. But the other kicker is this. The one reason why I like Waze so much is that it is up to date with roads, traffic, you name it.
But it ain't up to update. I guarantee you it's not up to date with
on your cars.
It would not be. I don't think it would be up to date with the hotels. Because Paul said it, like Paul said here.
Yeah.
This is what Paul said. And this is so true.
For both of you, it matters on the state.
Mm-hmm.
It does. It does.
Waze does not work through Georgia. Nothing. Oh. It basically went to a blank. It went to a dead zone.
Oh wow.
Well, here's my thing. I don't even trust Google Maps, and I use Google Maps. My thing is, here's one thing about driving. I'm going to say one word about technology. Screw it. Give me an old-fashioned road map. Give me an old-fashioned road map to read. I want an old-fashioned road map.
Use it, Dave.
Nope. Give me an old-fashioned road map.
Let me tell you something.
An old-fashioned road map. A road map.
Now, Dave, there is a different option also, and that is getting some kind of
AAA and use the
old-fashioned road map. Never goes. Hey, here's my thing. An old-fashioned road map never fails you. Never.
Oh,
yeah, Dave does.
Old-fashioned road maps never fail you.
I am literally about to say that.
Seattle trying to drive. I've seen like seven people having that road map. They're the driver with a road map in front of them.
Well, no, I didn't say.
Driving down the highway.
Hey,
Richard,
here's the thing. I didn't say use it while you were driving. I didn't say use it while you were driving. There's some, there's common sense. There's common sense.
Richard, do you remember in
look what Jill said.
Movie,
look what Jill said.
They have the map out, and they're reading the map.
Yep.
And you know which scene I'm not.
Oh, you know that you're an expert when that roadmap that you have has two nice little holes in it, so you can look right through them.
No, thank you. No,
Listen,
thank you. I would rather.
This is when I say that. Hey, now remember this. This is when I say you got to use common sense. Common sense words. You pull over. You find a rest stop. You pull over. You look at the map.
Seriously.
And then you fold it, and then you continue.
Let me tell you something. Okay?
That takes up too much time. You know that, Gabe. Everyone's in a rush nowadays.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Mike said it. Like Mike said, sometimes you're not always a rush. You're not always in a rush when you're driving.
But there's also one other thing you guys have got to do with your map apps.
Oh.
Keep your apps updated to the next thing.
I don't trust maps. I don't trust Google Maps. I don't trust any navigation. Listen.
Don't trust any of the map programs when you're around Disney World.
Why?
Like Jill said right there, they are not updated.
Then how come every time my Google Maps is updated, I always have to
drive there. Updated. That's because Disney World turnpikes always change every year.
My parents did the same thing. Believe me, they got the triptychs out. Those things, like with that. At the time,
that was back in the good days.
Yeah.
Now, Dave, do you think in the future
Are you serious, Joe? Let me say that.
Do you think in the future there will be trip planners, kind of like something that you do for, like, let's say cruises or trains, that will be able to plan your trip in a car, rent a car, and travel down the road to a certain spot that you want to go to?
Yep. That's right.
They'll be able to get your nice little hotels along the way. They'll be able to.
It's possible, but I doubt it.
The price of the highways it takes to get there.
It's possible, but I doubt it.
I doubt it, but I think the future could.
I doubt it, but I'm not going to put it. I'm not going to say it's not possible.
Yeah.
So I agree. Me and you agree on that. Me and you agree on that. I mean, it is possible. I doubt it, but
possible. But it'd have to be someone that
would not surprise me at all.
Has like the back of the hand of what the hotels are like around all the cities, basically.
Well, and now when you're talking about a travel planner, booking. Now, unfortunately, you do have to go, like Mike said. That's where, and I think we've all made valid points on things.
Yeah.
Because it's all true. Everything that each one of us had said has validity in all of it.
Yep.
And believe it or not, Dave, AAA will do road trips for you. They will give you the maps. Yes. They will give you the legit maps because we used to get them from there. We did.
They used to. I don't know if they do now, but because everything has gone Google, everything's gone digital anymore.
It's fantastic.
Nope. That's why I keep my old road. I still have my old road maps.
How old is the map?
It's still old enough that it still shows the right roads. And I've had it for 25 years, but it still shows the main roads. It still shows the main highways, 95, all of them. Hey, here's the thing. It even shows the back roads.
All their highways for the Florida never change. They're always there, but they might have construction.
And Mike, and even the road maps I have, here's the thing. The road maps I have, which covers South Carolina, North Carolina, Tennessee, Kentucky. It actually shows the eastern borders. It actually shows, it breaks down even to the back roads.
I'm about to say 2 words. Prove it. Prove it.
Seriously, I'm telling you, my problem is you can't trust any. You can't. The problem is you cannot trust Google. You cannot trust any of these travel apps.
I use Waze every time I go somewhere, and it works.
I guarantee you, go into Detroit, and I bet you that map will have you anywhere. I bet you would end up in
because when I hit go, it will take me the recommended route. Now, sometimes, yes, it will say, do you want to reroute due to XYZ? And I always say yes, because that.
Well, be careful. Nothing's foolproof, Mike. They used to say that about Google Maps, but now Google Maps will take you every which way but where you want to get to.
Oh, come on.
You gotta know, yes, Waze does use the AI program.
It does.
To get you to the quickest route possible to where you want to be.
Correct.
That also means that it changes.
Even if you get on the wrong road, it will reroute you.
You're driving.
Well, so should Google Maps does too.
We were driving down using Waze. We were driving down the highway, and it told us to take an exit that already passed.
That's why.
You need to wait.
That's why.
Fully.
That's why you will find. That's why you will find this person old-fashioned map. Old-fashioned map. Because if I plan the trip out, I know which roads I want. I'm good to go.
The only time that I do not use Waze is when I know that area very well, and I even know back roads within back roads.
I would just say keep it careful in some states. We'll have to talk about some of those states when you pass down through them.
And
Georgia's being one of them.
Specific area. I mean, very specific area.
Yeah, Georgia's pretty bad.
Here's the crazy thing. When I first started with Verizon Navigator, they used to have Verizon Navigator. It used to be good. By the time they got rid of it, it sucked.
Yes.
Same thing with Google Maps. When it started, it used to be good. Now it sucks.
But
road maps.
Let me ask you this question.
It works every time.
I'm going to ask you something, Dave.
There's a third way also.
What's that?
What if you not only download a one?
Oh, don't tell me you're going to say MapQuest.
But
don't tell me you're going to say MapQuest, because I remember doing that too.
Instead of
using MapQuest.
Anything, but it's a program that sits on your dashboard that is the navigation.
Yep.
Sorry. You ain't gonna convince me. I will still go road map every time.
Dave.
Oh gosh.
You are not gonna convince me. I will go old-fashioned road map every time.
So on that point, this proves that Dave is old.
No, only stubborn.
You just said it.
Nope. No, I didn't say old. I was stubborn. I'm stubborn. I will not use.
If you use hand maps, you are old.
Amen.
Well, in that case, then I'm damn proud of it, because my damn road maps will get me straight to where I'm going, and I won't get lost.
Now I just need to get your cousin in the chat so that I can tell her that you admitted that you were old.
Seriously, I know what it is. He's afraid of using the technology. That's what it is.
No, I don't trust. Here's my problem. Technology. Here's my thing about technology. It's not afraid of using it, Mike. It's not afraid of using it. But technology is taking over too much, and we're letting too much technology take over. And I'm sorry. I'm still old school when it comes to. There's some things that you have to use your brain.
Ways once, and see what you know about it. Mm-hmm. I'm serious. I want to see you use Waze once.
Yeah. That is true, Debbie. And that's the risk. Okay. That's the one thing about using a road map.
Yeah.
It's a bad thing. But
yes,
for me,
Debbie, yes. Because Waze will show you what is ahead.
But now this is why, and I'm not against Waze, and I'm not against Google Maps, but I would rather take the risk of having to fight a construction and have a road map than Google or Google.
You have a road map,
it all matters on where you're going.
Conditions are going to be that day. You don't know
how you're heading there.
You don't know about construction.
If you know,
Mike, I accept that because that's all part of driving. That now see, here's the thing. Every driver is different.
Yes, I understand that.
Everybody's different. So I mean, so for me, I'm willing to accept those risks. So as it is, and I have nothing against you. If you guys, everybody likes using that stuff, I have no problem for it. Go for it.
I know.
But when it comes to being that, I'm old school and I won't change.
We tried to use the old school map at one time for Washington State. They changed the road so much.
Yep.
You can't use paper maps.
Bingo. Same with New Jersey.
Well, now that's where it varies from state to state.
Down the highway.
That varies from state to state. But now here's the thing. Here's my thing.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to the extreme back roads, I will use combination of both Google Map and but knowing my main highways, which I know are consistent, I stay with the road map.
Let's put it this way, Dave.
Just do it by memory. Come on, Dave.
I know at least about 6 or 7 different ways to get there and still be in the same location without needing a map at all.
Well, here's the other thing about it. Because you know what? Here's the other thing about road maps, because sometimes it can take you down to highways that are old highways that have been there for years. Yes. And you get to see interesting things that you normally wouldn't if you go down the main highway. And I can guarantee you, Waze would not have that. Google would not have that. Road maps will.
Google actually
Google and Waze do.
Yes, they do. Not always. Not in the small towns. Not in the small towns in the back hills of the mountains.
Yeah.
And I know that for a fact that my dad was born and raised in a log cabin.
Well, some of them may not because they may be dead zones.
And there is that is true too. There's that too. There are a lot of dead zones throughout the hills.
Probably why? Because of dead zones.
Not necessarily, not always, but there are dead zones.
So much complications trying to drive. Just fly there.
Nah, no way.
I'm here.
You know what? It comes down to this. Here's the thing. Here's the thing.
3 days. I'll be there 4 days before you can get down there. I'll send you pictures. I'll send you pictures of me sitting in the pool with the pina colada in my hand. Okay.
Here's the whole thing. I mean, no matter what you use, and everybody's different, it's still gonna end up taking you. Whether you drive or fly, it's still going to be, depending where you're coming from, it's still going to end up taking you the same amount of time.
Dave, and there is one other thing with driving over flying. You don't have to deal, and I'm going to say this, you don't have to deal with the TSA. You don't.
Oh, I know that. You don't have to deal with the TSA.
Okay. I mean, you might not have to deal with jet lag, but there is some.
Well, now I will tell you this:
some people, though,
I would even take the train cross country.
I will say
there is some people that get car sickness.
That's true. That is
right.
That's thing.
And there you go. That's one of the things you have to take into account. If you get car sickness, then most likely you're probably better flying.
Thank you, Jill. Yes, the merchandise. See? A big trunk full of merchandise.
Oh, then we had to bring in the merchandise. I wasn't even talking about having stuff in the vehicle for that.
Yeah. But remember, Joe, you do need to make room for your rear view mirrors so that way you can see. But other than that, it will be woo. Mm-hmm. I'm serious. I mean, okay. Okay. Yes, yes, flying may be faster, but to be honest, I don't think flying is safe. I don't.
I do.
I'm going to honestly, truthfully, Mike. I'm going to be honest, truthfully, and you're talking to somebody that has up until mom and dad passed away. Mm-hmm. I've driven, except maybe once or twice when I first moved down here. I drove for 18 straight years or more. And I'm going to tell you this.
Sure.
With what I've seen over the years and how crazy driving has got, I still prefer to drive, but I will tell you this. Flying is still much safer than what driving is.
I disagree. Why? Because
I agree
of what
fully.
Recently just
you cannot listen. You cannot blame flight.
Look, do you really want to deal with people who are trying to Mike? You get the point. I'm just saying.
Let's go with your fantastic New Jersey. Okay, let's go with your fantastic New Jersey turnpike. Okay.
Sure.
Every single year, as of this, they have over 30 cars long ever that I've heard of.
Let's put it this way. New Jersey Turnpike?
Yeah.
You gotta all right. The thing about the New Jersey Turnpike is this. Yes, it is a pain in the butt sometimes to drive and whatever. But here's the thing with this. You get your cars lane and you have your trucks and buses lane.
I see too many crazy drivers around that area.
Thank you. Yes.
I'm going to save you all. I'm going to save you all ahead of you. I know one way of doing both. I know one way of doing both at the same time.
When I do this, well,
hold on. I know one way to do both at the same time.
They are coming up your butt.
I'm going to tell you, there's one way of doing it both at the same time. You steal a 747, drive it down the highway, and I guarantee you'll get everybody out of your way real quick and still make good time.
Do you want to know something, Dave? Every time I go past a certain airport on the New Jersey Turnpike, that thing makes me so stinking nervous.
That just reminds me of 9/11 all over again.
Let me ask you, Mike. Let me ask you.
Thank you. Do you want to know why, Richard? When you were driving past the Newark Liberty Airport, you could see the planes coming right to the, literally coming. And every time I get to the airport, I'm like, I literally just want to get past it as quick as I can. Because
I'm going to tell you, Mike.
With New Jersey,
I don't.
The problem with New Jersey, they did not plan out their highways correctly. They did not plan out their highways correctly. They placed them in the wrong spots.
I didn't plan them out.
Well, hey, Mike, let me tell you something. Sure. Here's how dangerous driving has become. We've lost 6 people inside of 5 days because of car accidents in my city.
Yeah.
Because of car accidents. 5 people.
Okay. Let me ask you this question. Would you rather...
So driving, you know what? The thing of it is, you have to do what you feel comfortable with.
Of course.
I'm not saying choose one or the other. You just got to do what you feel comfortable with.
I'm not either, but my thing for me is I do not trust flying at all. Even if I had to go cross country for something, I would take the Amtrak. Cross country.
Understandable.
We can do it.
I don't
wouldn't care how long it took
trust
me to
people around me
I'm serious.
It's because drive.
I would need a Greyhound bus.
Okay, now here, this is interesting because
I'm serious.
Richard would rather fly. You would rather drive.
Bingo.
Here's the crazy thing. Sure. I'm in the middle. I love flying. I love driving. And I have done both. And I would do both.
Yeah.
So, and that's why, I guess that's where I try to make, that's why I try to see both sides of the points of view, because you got validity. Richard's got validity. Sure. But if you look, and obviously, if you guys see my validity, there is some good points and bad points. And obviously, you got the crazy drivers who, listen, I was doing 70 to 72 on the highway going down to.
Good to see you.
I was doing about 72 on the highway going down to Orlando. Freaking car was probably doing about 90 to 100. It made me look like I was sitting still.
Sometimes. Let me tell you, and I've seen it. I've seen it.
And that is one of the bad points of driving.
Let's put it this way, Dave. I have been on the New Jersey Turnpike.
Hey, Mark Lincoln, welcome in, buddy.
And there are people up our butts, and we're like, go past us.
Well, you know what? You know how many people I had on my tail caboose on Saturday going through?
How many?
Through Orlando? Let me put it to you this way.
Go for it.
South of Ocala, there was a dead car. You would swore, because when you go through Ocala, you know, when you go through the city of Ocala, you know the highway gets a little congested from there. But this congestion was all the way, and we're talking probably 20 to 30 miles south of Ocala.
Yep.
That's how backed up this car sitting in the middle lane had everything backed up.
The other day when you called me.
Yeah.
You called me during that whole thing.
Yeah. I was calling you that right then, because we were trying to. You heard what I was saying about it.
Yeah, I knew when you were like.
But when I realized it was a car broke down, then I'm going, oh whack.
Now the one good thing about the Turnpike. No.
Fly.
No.
Fly. It's a lot safer.
I would do it. Car, train, plane, boat. I'll do it. Flying, no way. No, thank you. I will not do it.
You know, either one.
I'm not kidding.
Listen, I'm going to tell you this something. I'm going to tell you guys this. When your number is up, it don't matter whether you're flying or driving. Your number is up when your number is up.
I know that. Boat.
You just have to go here. The bottom line is you have to go with what you feel is most comfortable.
Right.
Richard loves flying. He would rather fly. You love driving. Me, I'm the crazy nut that would love to get on a plane and I would love to do 10 G-forces pinched against the back seat doing barrel rolls. But then I would love to get on the Daytona track and do 200 miles an hour around the speed track. The feel for the need of speed.
I will join you in both of those.
Well, Mark, you do bring up a good point about that.
Well, that can be it too.
Right. He's right.
Nope.
Yeah, but that's why you also have a navigator and a backup. That's why you got a co-pilot and a navigator. So if something happens for one.
One of the biggest cons about flying. So much stress with it. I mean, a lot of stress.
See, I don't know. I
have more stress. I have more stress trying to figure out what other people are trying to do around me while driving.
Now convince me of the stress part, Mike. Convince me of the stress part. Because let me tell you. Hold on. You know I flew to Michigan, right? And that was the first time in over 20 years that I've flown. That was the first time in over 20 years I've flown.
Yeah.
I didn't have no stress at all. We got through the checkpoints easy. We got on the plane easy. We didn't have no problem with the passengers around us, and we flew and we made it within 2.5 hours.
Dave, there is one big point to what Mike is saying, only because he uses one airport.
Yes.
Well,
can tell you.
It's
you want to go at an airport.
Just
try flying with me, because I will drive you insane, literally insane. Why? Because the minute I get to the airport, my stomach starts. Then trying to get through a security without freaking out, printing out your own tickets with people up your butt.
Now here's the big.
Okay.
I like what Mark just said. Here's the big point.
Thank you.
That's one reason why I do love to drive.
Thank you.
But
that's the okay. Wait, Dave. There's more to this.
That's Delta.
Okay? Seriously.
No, I'll never fly with Delta.
Getting into the airport is a mess, especially at 6 a.m. when everybody is literally trying to go through and bag your own bag, literally getting it on the conveyor belt, making sure that it is under 50 pounds, literally. Okay. Then
leave some of your spare jerseys home.
Off, freaking out, and literally trying not to forget anything when you were going to the x-ray machine, then getting to the gate, knowing where the gate is, the bathroom, Starbucks, yes. Okay. Drinking your Starbucks so fast, so that way you don't have to deal with it on the airplane. Getting on the plane, getting in the seat, seatbelt on, me holding on for dear life, and yes, I'm talking hand grips, like literally, like.
Oh, I have ways around that one.
Like, I'm serious. I mean, it's just, and
I know how to calm people down
when we get
while
up
flying.
there, any little bump, I was this. This is how freaked I get when
that's Mike.
I mean,
again,
freaking out. And this is exactly why I
and understandable. And that's realistic to you. That's realistic to you.
It's just not a flyer. It's fine.
Forget it.
But now you got to understand, not everybody's like that, Mike.
You really do.
For you, no, hold on. Let me say this. For you, that's legit. It's realistic. You're petrified of flying.
Get with me,
okay? And that is a legit, realistic, and understandable. And with and I see why people are right now panicking. I won't say panic.
This is why people
high tension with all the crashes.
Exactly.
But if people would stop and think about how many people are dying on the highway, more people are dying on the highway from accidents than they are flying.
I'd rather be on the ground than in the air. I'm sorry.
And Mike, I'm not trying to convince you. I'm just trying to say, because I understand you're petrified, and that's legitimate.
What you would experience with me, literally. Hello, Surf Bomb. Welcome in. Good to see you.
And that's understandable too, Mark. I understand that too. Now, if you're someone like me that doesn't have to rush, I like driving. I would drive up the I-75 corridor. I would drive up the I-95 corridor.
Mm-hmm.
But it goes back to what we were all saying earlier. It just depends on the matter of time and how fast you got to get somewhere, or how fast you want to get to the.
I'm going to use my jetpack and fly myself. I'm just going to use my jetpack, fly myself all the way down.
Well, I keep trying to tell you, just get us. You want to know how you clear the highways, and you want to fly? Just get a 747, drive it down the highway. Just get a 747 and drive it down the highway.
I'm going to make my own little.
There would be one way.
Jetpack, and I'm just going to fly right above the highway.
No. Richard, I have a better way.
Yeah. Hey, John, welcome our good friend John.
Magic carpet and zooming down the New Jersey Turnpike, being like, "Hello, people." But
you go show me a magic carpet, and you're good.
Yes, Aladdin's.
I'll be something in a magic carpet. You know what? You know what you need. You know what you need. You need the Knight Rider car. You need a kit. that can say, get.
Oh, Dave.
That's not that far in the future.
It's all right. Listen, here's the realistic though. I know it's not. No, I know it's realistic, but here's my philosophy on it, because they do that Teslas down in Gainesville. If anybody knows where, think about it. Teslas, when they started testing these driving cars, it started in Gainesville, Florida.
Yep.
And guess what? Here's what I think of the Tesla cars.
Oh, trust me, I will never get in one of those things. No, thank you. No, thank you. I mean,
yeah, and I wouldn't trust them no further than I could, than I could throw them, Jill.
Wow.
There you go. With no wing, exactly. By the time you got through the tunnels, the wings would fall off.
Really? You're kidding? Are they safe?
Oh, and not Teslas? Now, see, the ones that we have, they're Teslas down here in Gainesville.
You know, I'm going to say this.
Oh, John, come on. And wait a minute. John, I want to ask John this. John, how can you say that when you know you were U.S. Air Force?
Let's put it this way, Dave. With the way things are going, I don't blame them for doing that. I say good for you.
I'm telling you. But realistically, guys, you're going to find out you're more apt to, you're going to end up, more people die on the highway than they do in crashes.
No.
Just saying.
Okay.
But like I said, Mike, I'm not undermining your fear, and I, you know.
Well, that's neat. Jill, are they going to be coming east anytime soon?
No, they don't need them. I'm against robotic driving self cars.
Why?
I don't trust them no further than listen.
Why?
I don't trust them because they're too computerized and robotic. I like to use my own brain. I like to know what's going on around me. It's not me. It's not my driving that scares me. It's people around me's driving that scares the hell out of me. And with that, here's the thing about the self-driving cars. And I can't speak for the ones in Las Vegas, but I know the biggest issue with the ones that we had in Gainesville, with all the accidents we've had down there with them, it's because they couldn't tell different colors and they could not stop. They've run into trucks. They've run through lights, all because the computers were not able to tell the different colors. So for me, it's a no-go on this robotic computer things.
I understand that, Debbie. I get it. I get that. Believe me, I get it.
I mean, that's why, you know, and do you see why this was an interesting topic about traveling? Because, you know, it's funny about the way people, it's funny about the way people will travel and how they get there. Now, obviously, when I go to Baltimore, I want to get up there pretty fast. So I'm going to have to fly. I mean, there's just no choice.
It doesn't matter to me how long now, the only thing I will say,
I only have so much time off because of job and that. So, you know, when I go to the Baltimore, Maryland, obviously I've got to fly because I'm only going to have a few days off. So I have to fly.
True. I understand that. I get it. I get that. But, you know, for myself, you know, I guess we're all different, I guess. I guess for me, it's just.
Amen to that, John.
Oh. Really? Oh, yeah, that's right. Oh, yeah, that's right, because you're at the shore. That's right.
Yeah, I'm betting it does, Jill, because you only got one way in and one way out. You're probably forced to fly more likely. So is it, Mark? Okay.
I get it. I get that. For Baltimore, for me, it's not even less than 2 hours.
Well, that's because you live up in that area. I mean, for me, if I was to drive from here, it would take me probably 12
2 days to do it.
It would take me probably.
It would take you 2 days to do it.
Yeah.
Because
unless I do 90 miles an hour down 95. But I've gotten against about speeding. I've gotten one too many speeding tickets that cured my speeding foot. Trust me.
I want to see you drive on 95 up here.
Oh, I could. I could do it. I've driven in cities. I have driven it. Believe me, I've driven in cities that have been chaotic confusion. I don't think I'd have a problem. I think I've learned to have a lot of patience when it comes to construction and a lot of traffic. Now, my mom, you wouldn't want to see her drive. She wouldn't drive. Anytime we drove into big cities, guess who had to drive?
You did.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That's about right.
Actually, John, I think some of that information is out. I don't know what's on the website. Have you checked the website on that? And are we still planning on rooming?
Oh, nice.
I am so looking forward to Baltimore.
I wish I could go, honestly, but that's okay.
Oh, one of these days, maybe you can, Mike. I know. I guarantee you, they would love to see you and Richard come.
I know. You know what, Mark Lagenkamp? See what I mean? I mean, it's very interesting how each of us in here are different travelers in different ways. Now, you see
honestly, I sit right in the middle because I love flying, and I love flying, and I love.
I mean, I'm not trying to put flying down at all. Believe me.
No, I know, Mike, but I also understand, and that's why I understand your fear of flying. I understand,
and I'm not meaning it.
Please don't think I'm punting your fear of flying down. I mean, it's just you don't like flying.
I don't.
A lot of people don't.
If I don't have to do it, I will not do it. But I will say this: if I have to,
wait a minute, hold up. Listen. I'm going to tell you now, John. I don't go commando. I'm telling you that now.
You do realize that you're live, don't you?
Well, look what John said. I'm just saying.
Hold on.
It was right above the LOL from Mark Langenkamp.
Ooh, Lord have mercy. That was a little too much TMI. Mm-hmm.
I didn't start it. John did.
Well, that's not bad, Debbie. That's not bad at all.
No, flying to Baltimore is like flying to Michigan. It takes about 2 hour flight.
Well, let's see. 2 hours for me would be from where I'm at to the Jersey Shore, basically.
Oh, now you got Debbie going there, John.
I'm telling you. Well, anyways, I think it was a good conversation, honestly.
It was, and I know
it was also a passionate conversation too, because I think each of us were like so passionate about each of our.
Well, and here's the thing: we weren't going at each other. We were just. We weren't going at each other.
Maybe a
little. I wouldn't say we weren't going at each other. We were just saying that we were making valid points.
About our areas.
I would say we were making valid points very loud.
We were.
Because, like I said, I'm not against technology. It's like I was saying, I'm not against technology, and I use it for certain things. But I'm still one of those things that if I'm planting out a course, I'm double checking it with a roadmap. Because technology can mess up too easy. That's all I was saying.
Here's the thing with that, Dave. Okay. Remember when MapQuest came out?
MapQuest sucked.
Do you remember when we used to have to print out MapQuest directions? Now, mind you, this is before Google Maps.
You want to know how many times I printed out MapQuest directions?
Sure. I did it plenty of times. And it worked.
Zero.
It actually worked.
0. You want to know how many times I had to print out a map and it still worked versus MapQuest? My rope map got me there faster than the MapQuest had. I mean, I'm not saying I didn't. See, my thing is I checked out MapQuest and I double checked it against the road map. Road map was quicker than the map quest.
But you know, it's funny, Dave, because for myself, I mean, even though, yes, I do use Waze, when I get to a certain area, I basically turn it off because I'm like, I know how to get there.
Right. Listen, a lot of the places I do travel, I've been there, I've traveled to for years. So I was like, hell, I don't need the road map. I don't know. I don't need the road map. I don't need navigation because I know the area. So I know which roads I'm looking for. I know which highways I'm looking for, and I'm.
Same with me. Same with me, and I'm a whiz at this stuff. But you know, let me ask you this question, Dave. When you were driving the other day to Disney Springs, let me ask you this question: when you got into the Disney bubble, all right, from the "Welcome to Walt Disney World" sign to Disney Springs, without looking at a map, can you do it from memory?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's easy. You're coming off a Hertz Road going into all the way. I don't remember what the road exactly called is going into it because I come off a 429 toll road. Which is part of Herzog. But it changes once you get into under the Disney property, and then you take that to Lake Buena Vista, turn left on Lake Buena Vista, and you go all the way around that way. And now now what you have to do after that depends on whether you park in the Lime Garage, the Orange Garage, or the Grapefruit Garage.
Oh yeah, by the way, Dave, now let me ask this question.
Now, like I used the Grapefruit because they had the Orange parking lot closed. And the Lime, both the Lime and the Orange were closed. They were full.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, both of those were all full, so I had to go to the Grapefruit.
Okay, Dave. So, where is the Grapefruit lot? Where is it?
It's between the building where where you go in to do your interviews to be a cast member.
Oh, I get it. Okay.
And on one side, and you got the Speedway on the other side.
Okay. All right.
It's right across from Disney Springs, but right before Hotel Row down on Lake Buena Vista.
Lake Buena Vista.
That whole row is that whole road is Lake Buena Vista. It goes all the way across.
Drive.
Huh?
I thought that was International Drive.
No, International Drive is downtown. International is down by I-4.
This is why I need Waze for.
Do you see how much I know Orlando?
Okay. All right.
I'm not saying I know it perfect.
No, but let me ask this question. If you were to go to Disney World, would you take I-4?
No.
Why?
Because I can go back way and turn because of where I live, I could take the turnpike, come across the 429 toll, get off at Herzog Road, and get into there's a road that road goes right next to Coronado Springs.
Right. Okay.
Which takes me to Lake Buena Vista, and from there, take me wherever I'm going. If it's Animal Kingdom or to the resorts or and then I just follow it to the other roads that I need to get to whatever I'm doing that day.
Okay. Well, I need to get going because
I do need to get going. I need to hop in the shower, and it's 9:45.
Yep.
So.
I thought it was a good conversation.
Yes, it was.
A very.
And I know it was getting late for Richard. I know that's why he had.
I know.
In fact, it's 9:00. He was probably getting ready to eat dinner.
Yeah. But I will say this.
I loved it. We had a Pete invasion today.
We did.
Like I said, I just didn't. But don't forget, cruise line on Thursday. We'll continue to. We'll probably look at another Carnival ship, and then the week after that, I'll either look at another Okay. Oh, well, we're getting ready to end anyways, Richard, because I got some things I have to do and get ready for tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
All
right.
Yeah, his internet went. That's what.
Okay, all right.
But thank y'all for being here.
Yep. Uh-oh.
Yes, Mama D. I had dinner on the way home. I was eating and driving at the same time.
You had McDonald's again, Debbie. He needs to go to Five Guys Burgers and Fries. I'm just saying.
No.
And that's another thing about the driving guys. You get to find the greatest restaurants in the world.
Actually, that is true because I've found some good smorgasbords and some good homemade restaurants.
Oh my gosh. I mean,
Richard's mad.
Why?
What? We were just saying.
And you know what?
I don't know what he's talking about because we're just talking.
You get to find new places to eat.
Sometimes, and well, here's the thing, and sometimes that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes it can also be a bad thing because sometimes you can end up in when you're driving, you can end up in areas where there's very little too.
Yes, that's
so it can go either way when it. Yeah. So it can be a good thing, but it can also be a bad thing.
True. And if you're flying, you only get airplane food and you do not get Five Guys Burgers and Fries, or you don't get McDonald's, or you don't get Burger King.
Well, that's why I say you take a cruise because you can get your different I think who was it? I was listening to one of Tinkerbell's they were talking about was it MSC that I think that's put a Five Guys on their ship?
What? Are you serious?
One of the cruise lines did. I'd have to go back. I'm always behaving, Debbie. It's everybody else.
Bye.
You should know that, Debbie.
Oh, by the way, Debbie. I got my Starbucks today.
Shamrock milkshake beats it all.
No, thank you.
Shamrock milkshake beats it all.
Thank you. I'll pass.
Y'all are Shamrock milkshake beats it all.
No, thank you.
But, yeah.
All right, I need to get to bed soon.
Yeah, I need to go hop in the shower and get my stuff ready for tomorrow because we got some more pressure washing to do in the morning. So no, that would be you and Mike that misbehave. I'm always.
That's a load of. That's a load.
That way, guys. You see who missed. That's right. Well, who you point to in the chat? You're blaming Richard. Okay.
I'm not blaming him. I'm blaming your boy.
You're pointing towards Richard.
I am not. He's not even in the chat.
He is in the chat.
I mean, here on the whatever. Anyways, good night, guys. Good night.
Have a good night, guys. Have a great night, and don't forget. I will say this, guys. For those that that want to check out my third channel, I am actually going to do a live stream tomorrow night from that channel. And talk about what I have planned for it besides the continuations of the other video stories that I'm doing.
Wonderful. Great.
So I may, and it won't be I know it won't be a long stream, so I will be doing I'll probably maybe half an hour, 45 minutes at the most tomorrow night. So have a great night, guys.
Yep.
Mike, have a good night, buddy.
Yep. Good night.
Good night.
See you later.